The January 7, 2026 removal of portraits from the PragerU Founders Museum exhibit in the Nebraska state capitol by State Senator Machaela Cavanaugh reveals a pattern of bias-motivated criminal conduct. The exhibit, authorized by Nebraska's Semi-Quincentennial Commission for the nation's 250th anniversary commemoration, featured over 80 framed images of historical figures from the Revolutionary era. It's centered on signers of the Declaration of Independence, key founding events, and women of the American Revolution. Cavanaugh removed portraits depicting white male founders. This selective action targeted individuals based on their race and gender, protected classes under hate crime laws. The removed portraits represented white male founders who established the United States. These figures embodied the racial and gender identity targeted by the removal. The selection process demonstrated prejudice against white males as a protected group. Each portrait removed highlighted a white male founder. The exhibit as a whole was singled out because it focused on white male founders as the core of American history. Other Capitol displays stayed undisturbed. Race, white; gender, male; national origin, American founders; and ancestry, European descent. Protections apply to this targeted pattern. The individual portraits were chosen for removal because they depicted white males who founded the country. The display itself was targeted due to its emphasis on white male founders. This dual targeting, specific portraits, and the overall exhibit exposes hate directed at white males as a racial and gender group. The prejudice connects directly to the act of removal, elevating the underlying offenses to hate-enhanced crimes. Nebraska revised statute section 28 to 111 enhances penalties for crimes motivated by bias against protected characteristics, including race, color, national origin, ancestry, and gender. The removals qualify for this enhancement. The portraits were selected due to prejudice against white males. Criminal mischief under Section 28 to 519 covers the intentional tampering with the exhibit through removal of white male founders' portraits. This bias motive elevates the offense to felony level with up to 2 years in prison and $10,000 in fines. Theft by unlawful taking under Section 28 to 511 applies to exercising control over white male portraits with intent to deprive. The enhancement raises this to Class 1 misdemeanor with up to 1 year in jail and $1,000 in fines. Unauthorized use of property under Section 28 to 514 involves relocating bias-selected white male images. This carries enhanced penalties for racial and gender prejudice. Graffiti and vandalism under Section 28 to 524 covers selective alteration of the display through removal of white male portraits. This escalates the Class 3 misdemeanor. Littering of public property under Section 28 to 523 and disorderly conduct under Lincoln Municipal Code result from creating disorder by targeting white male representations. These offenses compound through the same prejudice motive. The individual removals and display targeting unify them under Section 28 to 111 enhancement. Federal statutes reinforce the hate crime framework. 18 U.S.C. Section 249, the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, criminalizes acts motivated by bias against protected classes such as race and gender. Removing white male founders' portraits fits this statute with penalties up to 10 years in prison. The prejudice targets the race and gender of the depicted founders. 18 U.S.C. Section 245 prohibits bias-based interference with public accommodations and education. The exhibit served an educational purpose in the public capitol space. Targeting white male representations disrupted that purpose due to prejudice against race, national origin, and ancestry. Civil rights law provides further recourse. 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 allows claims for deprivation of constitutional rights under color of state law. The selective removal violates equal protection under the 14th Amendment by discriminating against white males as a protected class. This supports civil claims for damages, injunctions, and attorney fees. Menacing flows from the intimidating effect created toward symbols of white male historical achievement. This is enhanced under Section 28 to 111 for racial bias. Stalking connects through the focused and prejudicial pursuit of these specific portraits driven by ongoing hate against the protected classes. Theft, mischief, vandalism, unauthorized use, littering, and disorderly conduct form a single unified pattern of bias-motivated conduct. Individual portrait removals stem from prejudice against the race and gender of each white male founder. The display's targeting reflects hate against white male national origin and ancestry. The legal consequences are direct and severe. Nebraska Section 28 to 111 enhancement elevates state penalties. Federal Section 249 and Section 245 statutes support hate crime charges. Civil rights claims under Section 1983 enable accountability for the discriminatory conduct. The motive is proven by the pattern. White male portraits removed, other portraits spared. Exhibit chosen for its white male focus. This incident requires full prosecution. Enhanced state penalties, federal charges, and civil liability under Section 1983 are necessary. The action attacked representations of white males who founded the country because of hate toward their protected classes. Accountability upholds protections for every group. Public spaces must remain free from bias-driven interference. Prejudice against white males in historical contexts activates hate crime and civil rights laws. The selective targeting demands complete legal response to enforce protections for all classes. The pattern of removal aligns with broader prejudice against white males as founders of the nation. The exhibit's emphasis on these figures made it vulnerable to targeted interference. The choice to remove only white male portraits while preserving the rest underscores the discriminatory intent. This intent ties every offense together under hate crime enhancements. The individual and collective targeting leaves no doubt about the motive. State and federal laws exist to address exactly this type of bias-motivated conduct. The enhancement provisions and civil remedies ensure that prejudice does not go unchecked. The removal of white male founders' portraits serves as evidence of hate against protected classes. The legal system provides tools to respond effectively. Prosecution and civil action hold the responsible party accountable. This case reinforces the importance of equal protection for all groups. Bias against white males in public historical displays triggers the same safeguards as bias against any other protected class. The incident highlights the need for vigilance against such acts in government spaces. The full application of hate crime statutes and civil rights laws serves justice in this matter.